heavy loss. Dramatically changed the season.
You are now listening to the Sportz Nutz.
Yeah, you are listening to the Sportz Nutz. I don't know, that was weird. Like, I hit record and then live, and it comes on like randomly, like 10 seconds before the show starts. But hey, it started. We're here, guys. We hope you have had a wonderful weekend. Matt and I know we sure as heck have had a eventful week. Matt, tell everybody how your weekend went.
Weekend was good, man. You know, got to enjoy many different sports. The World Series, of course, is on. We got to watch Freddie Freeman do his thing.
And Atlanta is still missing him, by the way, folks.
Oh yes, we are, especially after those performances, and also his leadership. But anyways, you know, got to see some basketball, man. Got to see the Hawks play. You know, two good games, games. You know, but hey, that's what the Hawks do. And of course, you know,
Brandon Leak said that, you know, you're going to get a mixture of once in a whiles.
And then, you know, football. We had a good week of football, man. Some very exciting games. I know me and you were on FaceTime Live when.
My God!
When this happened.
I wish we had recorded that, man. I really do, because that was the best reaction. All right, folks. In case you're wondering what we're talking about, Matt and I were on a FaceTime call. As we're looking at Matt's shirt, man. We were on a FaceTime call, right? And we were watching the final parts. Gosh, I can't talk today, folks. Final parts of the Chicago-Washington game. And Matt's all right. So here's Matt. Matt's doing this. He's like looking over here, right? And then all of a sudden I go, oh! And he's like, "You're ahead of me. You're ahead of me. What's going on?" I'm like, I'm screaming uncontrollably, like, "Holy cow! He has just gotten the amazing, unbelievable catch." I was, and then folks, I don't know, Matt, did you see the videos later on, like what the player number 29 was doing before?
Yeah, I saw him. He was taunting.
He was doing this and taunting and all that stuff. And then he bats the ball into the other. Yeah, he's the one that bats the ball into the other guy's hands and he catches it. So hey, just goes to show, you know, it ain't over until it is over. Guys, we have a great episode lined up tonight. We actually have a good friend of ours. He is actually a very good friend of ours, Matt. I believe a really good friend of Brian Kajiyama, but he has ties to the state of Hawaii. He is the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach at the San Jose State University Spartans. We're going to have him come on. I cannot wait to have him on. I'm really excited to talk to Craig. So we're going to have them on. And then Matt, you and I, we're going to talk a little bit about, you know, our Dirty Birds. They got it done. And they thanks to Kirk Go Chains, as they call him, ruling the NFC South. Atlanta is basically wrapped in the South. Before we get going, guys, with our guest, let's go ahead and give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Tequila's Grill and Easley, guys. Just want to quickly let you know also, we are about to get a 20% discount code for when you go to Tequila's. So we're going to have that up for you guys soon. Don't worry, it's going to be really good. But if you want some affordable, authentic, and delicious Mexican cuisine, Tequila's Grill and Easley is where you want to go. From Matt's favorite, which is the queso, which is the taquitos, which is literally anything on the menu, to Cassie's favorite, which is the freshest fajita bar ever. Tequila's has it all. Look, guys, holidays are knocking on the door. They're coming up. So let's go ahead and give them a call right now to get your corporate events booked for holiday events. 864-307-8028. Or better yet, just stop on by 5155 Calhoun Memorial Highway, Easley, South Carolina, 29642. That is Tequila's Grill and Easley. All right, guys, let's see here. Whoever this Robert Skelton is, Matt, you have a fan there, man. All right, so that without further ado, gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen, actually, I should say, I would like to present with you Mr. Craig Stutzman. Craig, how are you doing, sir? I should say, Coach, how are you doing, sir?
Good. How are you guys doing? Sorry, I'm still trying to figure out how to get my earphones. I'm going to take this out because it's not even connected.
I did the same thing not too long ago.
Matt's done the same thing. He was like, these are like the weirdest headphones there is. Look, I have these. Okay, the reason why I have these are radio headphones. So I connect. I work in the radio, so that's why I have these.
Nice.
But Matt, he doesn't work in radio. He has the AirPods like you do, and he gets mad all the time too. It's perfectly normal. So, hey, we want to say this. We thank you so much for, obviously getting back with me the way you did on Instagram and then getting me in touch with Sky. Great gentleman. I'm glad to have you on. And, just give people a little introduction about yourself.
Yeah. Born and raised in Hawaii, always wanted to get and stay into in football. Played at the University of Hawaii, went on to play in the CFL for a little bit, brief, as I said, a cup of coffee up there. Didn't know what I wanted to do when I got done playing and, tinkered with maybe going and doing some broadcasting stuff. I wanted to be on TV and be a sports caster or whatnot. And then I kind of was like, man, I kind of missed the game, but I don't know really how I want to get involved. And, it's kind of funny because the other thing I was thinking of doing too was maybe going into Secret Service and in law and whatnot. But that wasn't my deal. I remember going to Coach Jones, at the age of, I think I was like 22 at the time. And Ron Lee, who was the receivers coach at Hawaii, and just saying, hey, Coach, I got a chance to maybe go coach high school ball with Tony Tuioti, who was a teammate of mine at the University of Hawaii, who's now the defensive line coach at the University of Oregon, and he was the head coach at Kaleo High School. We were young at the time, and he was like, "Hey, I want you to come over and be, the OC and run the offense and do all the stuff you want to do." And I said, "Hey, Tony, I don't even know if I'm even ready for that, and I'm kind of going through this little background checking on the process of getting into the HPD at the time, the Honolulu Police Department." Trying to set myself up to get into the Secret Service. And he said, hey, listen, why don't you just come and check it out, at least install the offense during spring. It was during spring ball. And, I said, all right, I might as well do it. So I did that and I fell in love with it. Like the first day I fell in love with it. I remember going back to see, and I digress, but I go back to then Coach Jones and Ron Lee. And I said, hey, I got a wonderful opportunity to go coach high school ball. But at the same time too, though, I'm kind of down the road with maybe trying to get into the Secret Service somehow. And, both of them separately at different times said, you're still young. You have a lot of time to go and maybe go grab a gun and a badge. But at this point in time, I think, if you love the game and the game and you know the offense, why don't you just take the opportunity and maybe after the year, if you don't like it, then go do something else and, go back and try to get into HPD and get down that route or that road. But if you do love coaching, it's one of the most fulfilling jobs out there. You get to help young men and you get to stay in the game that you love. And obviously I took that opportunity and I'm here now because of those guys. And I've had wonderful mentors along the way. I've met so many special people, friends, teammates that I play with that are now coaching at different places, whether it's JUCO ball or high school ball. I get to reconnect with those guys when I go out recruiting. And then also former players of mine are close friends of mine now. And I think it's been a wonderful ride the last 20 something years coaching football. And I can't see myself doing anything else. I can't do anything else. So it's been great. It's been really fun.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You coach with your brother, right?
I did. And I do. I coach with him here. I coached, I think, 3 different places now. And I actually coached him when he was I was the JV head coach at St. Louis High School at some point in time in my career. And my brother was on the first team that I had. And now, we coach together. We coached together before at the University of Hawaii, at Emory and Henry College before that, at Utah Tech. Actually, this is the 3rd time we coached together, so it's been great.
Wow. Oh, nice. Yeah. That's always exciting to get the keep the family camaraderie together. And obviously family is very big in Hawaii. People, whoever if they don't understand the lifestyle in Hawaii, family is everything. And I've had the privilege of being the state of Hawaii, and it's a great place, great people. So let me ask you this, Craig. Obviously you guys have a little bit of a daunting schedule to wrap up this year. You guys are playing at Oregon State, then you play host to everybody's hated team, Boise State.
Right.
Of course, you finish up the season against Stanford. You guys have three of the remaining four are going to be pretty tough opponents.
Well, and UNLV, and they're playing really well. Yeah.
You guys are still not. You're not out of the mix of potentially playing for the Mountain West Conference Championship game. What are you guys going into the mind frame with the fact that the 4 remaining games you have for the regular season are pretty tough?
Yeah, it's tough, but like Coach Ken says, we wouldn't want to have any other way. The good thing about the way that schedule lays out for us is that at least we still have to play teams that are at the top of the Mountain West, right? So there's a lot of things that have to happen, or some things that have to happen. But at the same time, too, though, if we can go ahead and get back on a roll and finish strong, then we put ourselves back in the position to win a Mountain West championship. It's not like the last half or the last third of the season you're playing against the guys at the bottom half, and you don't really have a say, or you don't really have anything to do with how things get shake out. So that's one thing. The other thing, too, is you want a schedule that lays out that you are going to play against better opponents on the back end, because you should be getting better, and so we're getting better. Although, the last 4 games we've gone 2-2, arguably they're saying, well, you're not playing as good. But when you look at the film, it's just the consistency. We got to play with more consistency, right? We're explosive. We're gaining a lot of yards. We're still scoring points, but the points aren't necessarily matching the amount of yards that we're gaining. And it's some self-inflicted wounds. It's also, just some inconsistencies here and there. And that's part of year one. And the fortunate and unfortunate thing about where we are right now is we started off, I think we were 4-1 or whatever it was, right? So, we're playing really well. But at the same time, too, though, like I said, as the season has gone on, our schedule has gotten tougher. So it might not reflect that we're playing better, but our guys are playing better. And so we got to just stick with the plan. Today we had a great practice. It's a bye week, and coming off a tough loss like you do come off from a rival like Fresno State, sometimes it's hard to motivate those guys, right? You got to really put a lot of time and effort into just motivating them, getting out to practice, giving all whatever they got. And I tell you what, they came out with a ton of juice today. We changed a little bit of things up. Us as coaches on the offensive side, we played some defense. We played some half-line Skelly versus the receivers and quarterbacks. One, to give them a look that we want to give them. And two, hey, I think the kids nowadays and the players nowadays, they love it when the coaches are involved in not just, off the field or on the field, but even giving them a look in practice. So I'm playing safety. We got another coach, Coach Judge, is playing safety. My brother's playing nickel. Coach McGivern's playing corner. And we're just rotating through coverages. And we let the quarterbacks and the receivers, I gave them a menu of plays they could choose from. And we're going to do it again tomorrow. And we're going to play for pizza. You know what I mean? So oh, nice. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and put a little bit of lunch deal on it. And we'll have a point system going and make it fun for those guys. Because, it's important nowadays to make sure that these guys understand that football is tough. Winning and losing and winning games, it's tough. But at the same time, too, though, you got to have fun doing it, and you got to inject some life into it. And I think that's where we are right now. We just need to get back to the swagger we had, the confidence and the fun that we had. And I think, along the ways the last few weeks, we kind of up and down a little bit. So again, and as a coordinator, it's more on me than anybody else to make sure keep things fresh and have some fun out there.
Absolutely. Matt, you have a question. Go right ahead.
I do. Coach, once again, thank you for coming on the show with us. I have a question. You guys had a crazy double overtime game against Washington, I believe, earlier this year. You guys lost. I think it was your first loss of the season. It was 54-52 and double overtime. I guess the second and third overtime, something like that. After you guys lose a game like that, what's the message that you guys have to give to your players in order to keep their psyche's level, or in order to keep them engaged and ready to go for the next game?
Yeah, I think after that game, it wasn't as tough because you put up 50 points. You have close to 500 yards against our toughest opponent on a Friday night, on national television or whatnot, and you come away with this sick feeling that you lost the game and it was so close. But at the same time, too, though, there's so many things that you can build upon. Like, hey, we threw the ball really well. We moved the ball against a team that typically, they pride themselves on defense. We were able to go into a hostile environment and perform really, really well. So that one wasn't really as tough as maybe this one, where you feel like, man, we left probably about 24 points when it was all said and done. And I get it, it's coach speak. But when you really look at the film and you say, okay, it's nothing where guys needed to do anything superhuman. All you needed to do is just what your coach is doing and relax and just make the plays and let it come to you. As an offense, we looked at it, even the players, and we're like, yeah, we left probably close to about 24 points out there. And not to take anything away from Fresno, they're a really good football team. Defensively, they had a lot of returning players, and they are a different team when they play at home. I mean, I played them as a player in that hostile environment. I played them as a coach in that same environment, and those coaches do a really good job, and they're great coaches over there too as well. So I think this week was a little tougher than the Washington State week to get over for many reasons. But that's why the message this past yesterday, and going forward is just, hey, get back to the basics, because there are some basic things that we're still inconsistent with that we got to get cleaned up. So, that message then was a little different than the message that we had just the last 2 days. But I will say this, we have unbelievable players, great people, and great coaches, to where it wasn't really that hard to get these guys to come out and practice hard. I thought we had arguably our best practice that we ever had since I've been here at San Jose State. So that's one thing to say about the guys. Our guys are resilient and they're tough.
And obviously, the whole situation is going on with the Mountain West Conference. The conference realignment is going, 6 ways sideways, whatever they want to say, how they ever say it and everything. Well, obviously you saw Hawaii now starting in 26 is going to be a full-time member of the Mountain West Conference. So it means you get to see more than just football. You'll get to see them in basketball. You'll see them in baseball. I know that UTEP does not recognize baseball right now. So you're only going to get 6 in that form there. But what does that mean to you, knowing that you're going to be able to compete against your alma mater, and more than just football?
Yeah, it's funny because I'm really glad that they're able to get into the Mountain West as a full-fledged member. I think that's great for the university. I'm excited for Timmy. I'm excited for, everybody involved in all the programs, because I know how important it is to be a part of the Mountain West and the great things that it could do for the university. So really, really awesome to see that happen. At the same time too, though, it's awesome from a personal standpoint to be like, hey, got to beat them. You know what I mean? And the cool thing is, whether it's, their basketball coach or their volleyball coach, not just a football coach, I've known all of them for a very long time. So it's going to be fun when we get a chance to play them in all these sports. But I think it's a really cool thing that they're able to get in full-fledged members. And I'm excited to play against them in all these different sports that we're able to compete against.
Absolutely. And obviously, we're not done yet with conference realignment. The talk is, according to 24/7 Sports and On3, both reported actually yesterday and today that Mountain West Conference has extended an invitation to both Toledo and Northern Illinois as football-only members. It's just determining if they accept them, that kind of stuff. I think it's something to do with money. That's the conference talk for everything is money. What can they benefit for? But then there has also been talks through On3 Sports that said that that the Mountain West Conference is not done. They're looking at Montana State, North Dakota, South Dakota. Those mixes coming in, but also the Pac-12 is also competing. And when I saw that you guys were staying a full-fledged member of the Mountain West Conference, I actually got really excited, because I enjoy getting to see Hawaii play San Jose State. I remember the 2007 season when Colt did whatever magic he could do, and he won the game at San Jose State. I think it was like double overtime or something like that with Matt. It was a high scoring affair. And when you want to look at quality football, obviously you see a lot of teams, but explain what it means when you get to play homegrown homegrown talent. You go to Hawaii, you play against players coaches you know what they're like.
Mm-hmm.
What is it like knowing on the other sideline you kind of can see what their mind is going through when like a ticking time bomb?
Yeah, it's interesting. Like you said, the conference realignments, and every day it seems there's new reports coming out. I didn't even know those things that come up, and as a coach and really our players, you're kind of insulated from that stuff because you're so involved in the game plan. You're so involved in what's going on day to day. You're so involved in those type of things that, and the landscape of college football is ever changing. So to try to keep up with that, it's hard to do. You know what I mean? That's why you guys do it. And we just, hey, okay, we're playing those guys in 2 years. Cool. You know what I mean? Oh, they're going to be part of the conference. Cool. I think there's something to be said about being able to play guys that's, that makes sense regionally, not just from the cost, because that's above my pay grade, right? I don't deal with that stuff. That's all the budgets and the costs and all that stuff. But I think from purely, like you said, being able to look across the sideline and see, like, I remember recruiting that guy. I remember, like, I played against his dad, or hey, his dad and we played against each other. I think that's really cool when the conferences are a little bit more regional based, because football is a small world. Sports is a small world, and you get to know everybody involved, and it's fun that way. But at the same time too, though, when you're playing teams from different parts of the country, that's also fun. It's like a bowl game or preseason, or not preseason, but the non-conference games. But it's the feeling is the way that it's going. It's like kind of non-conference, like you're playing against teams that's halfway across the country, and you really don't know too much about it. And who's to say that conference is going to stick that way in 2-3 years? You might play them for 2 games back-to-back home and homes, and you're like, oh, remember when we played like that team? Gosh, that was a crazy you know what I mean? Yeah, they're a part of the conference. And I, it's funny, I look back at it now, maybe it's just an accelerated way that they're doing it now, because shoot, it just dawned on me when I played in the WAC. When I played, that was kind of like the old Mountain West,
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, and at the same,
all you gotta do is that TCU, and you're good.
You had TCU, you had Tulsa, but you also had BYU, and you had Utah. You know what I mean? So, and now they're Power 4 guys. So maybe it's just everything's happening sooner. Because it's not even the WAC. The WAC isn't even. I don't even think that's even the conference, or if that is, it's an FCS.
It still is the conference, but it's more like a basketball conference. There is some football, but it's like I think it's like a D2 kind of conference now. Obviously, the most notable one everybody knows about, that's still in theory a part of the WAC, is Grand Canyon University. But they're even possibly moving to the Mountain West, or they're possibly moving to Pac-12. A lot of people are saying that it looks like they're swaying towards going to the Mountain West. So even still, you have good quality opponents going to it. Matt, you have a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, Craig. From the standpoint of, running out on the field, seeing the crowd, getting pumped, do you enjoy the game more as a player or as a coach?
That's a good question. I think as a player, I enjoy the game with the crowd and all that stuff, because, you're a player. It's like the movie Gladiator. It's like you're in an arena, right? You're an entertainer. You're a competitor. You're actually on the field, and those guys are cheering you on. You're the player. Football is a player's game. Mm-hmm. As a coach, you try to block out that part of it, because your job now is to put your players in the best position to win football games, and it's all about the players. And so your focus is more on how your players are performing, what calls you're making, how are you preparing them. As a player, your job was to make plays. And the fans, and I get it, like some coaches may love that part of it, and that's not wrong, and that's also right. But I think sometimes coaches forget that they're not cheering for you. They're cheering for the guys in the field. They're cheering for the guys that's playing the game. It's about Nick Nash. It's about Maris Talavo. It's about Walker Eget or Emmett Brown. It's about DJ. It's about those guys. It's about the players. And so as a player, I loved it because I knew it was about us. As a coach, I try to block myself out from it because it's not about me. It's not about us as coaches. It's about the players.
What advice can you give, or would you give, I should say, to Timmy Chang? Obviously, it's not gone the way everybody had hoped. Mm-hmm. We talked to Ashley Lilly. He said he was kind of given a bad apple to start the bunch, and you do see that there is potential, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But you run the same system he runs, the run and shoot, which everybody don't know. They don't know that it's one of the most high-powered offenses there is.
Mm-hmm.
It was made famous through June Jones. What advice can you give, or would you give Coach Chang to how he can reinvigorate that offense? Because obviously, they're 3-5. There still is a chance for them to get a bowl game, but they got to really turn it on. Braden Shager last weekend, he ran for 4 touchdowns, but the big issue is there he didn't throw for a touchdown. So it's like you're getting one without the other. What advice could you give?
Say what you can without getting in trouble, by the way.
Without getting in trouble correctly.
I don't want to give them too much advice. I got to keep some secrets for myself, right? But it's funny that you say that because the things that we do here, I would say the bones of it is the run and shoot. But at the same time, too, though, we've done so many things that we've added into this offense, and that's why we changed the name to the spread and shred. We have a lot of tempo things. We do a ton of RPOs. The run and shoot core of what we do, it is what it is, and how we teach and all that stuff. But when you take a look at what we do here, it's very much different. There's a lot of things I would say from the time that maybe I was in truly the run and shoot to where we've evolved to. We're probably maybe 80% different than run and shoot, than what you would see in June's offense, and probably what you would even see in Timmy's offense. But going back to your question, what advice I would give to Timmy is, and Timmy and I were good friends, and I talked to him, especially in the off season more than in the season because everybody's busy. But my advice has always been, do what you do what you know, what you believe in. Because if you don't believe in it, the kids aren't going to believe in it. Better than anybody else. You're the head coach, and you've done it at a high level. And we've had private conversations about things, but I think when you look at what he's doing, and I think they're on the right track. You just got to stay true to who they are and what the players can do. And if that means that Braden Shager's got to run for 4 touchdowns and get the win, then that's what you got to get done. And I think it's really good that's what happened this past weekend, because it's all about winning the games and doing it the right way. And, I think that they've had a lot of good success, over the last 3 years. And, there's some things that was done right. And there's some things that maybe, you got to tinker with here and there. But by and large, you just got to do what you got to do, and believe in what you're believing in. And don't let anybody outside that bubble, shape what you know.
Absolutely. I like that. I like that advice. All right. So we have a good friend. You and I and Matt, we have a mutual friend, actually. Do you remember Brian Kajiyama?
Of course I remember Brian.
Brian is supposed to be watching.
Like that guy's the sports nut of the sports nut for UH Sports, man.
Yes.
I love Brian.
Man. Brian is actually going to come on our show on the 12th of November.
Oh, really?
So when when I told him, I got you to come on the show, his first words were, oh, I'm definitely watching because I miss Stutz. That was his exact words, is I miss Stutz. So Brian, if you're watching, your boy's here and he's cheering you on, man. All right. So let me ask you this, Craig. Walk me in the day and the life of you as a coach from sun up to sundown, on how you get the team prepped. Like what is like your routines? Like, you have like workouts, you have like game study, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So typically, I'm in the office somewhere around 6:15 in the morning or so. I'm not a morning guy. Coach Ken is a big time morning guy. So, I'm still trying to get my juices flowing. I usually don't get out of my haze until probably 6:45, but I get my cup of coffee, get into the office, and I like to do a lot of things throughout the day. And I'm more of a stay at night late guy, to just things, the way that my mind works, things come up through the day. And I have different thoughts, and there's some things that maybe with the staff that I talk through, or even with the players. So I want to make sure that things, like, I like to set things before I go to sleep. I don't like to lay it and let it spill over to the morning. So I typically get in about 6:15, have my cup of coffee on the way in, take a look at the script, make sure there's no, changes needed or adjustments. Again, like I said, I stay late at night. So, sometimes I come in here and some of the other coaches are like, dude, what were you thinking about this? I'm like, oh yeah, that's completely wrong. It's backwards. Okay. So, I make sure I get that stuff taken care of. We get staff meetings. We have a staff meeting at 7 a.m. And then there we talk through a little bit more things. Once we're done with that, we got player meetings at 8 a.m. We go over, practice from the day before, go over the script, go over new plays, new wrinkles, new defensive looks, game film from opponents. We try to get all that stuff in for about an hour and a half or so. Then we get on the field. We typically have a walkthrough. We go through, little things on the field, maybe lining up trash cans and giving the defense or the quarterbacks a look at potentially things, whether it's pressures, stuff in the run game or the pass game that we got to get checked. Then we go through practice. Once practice is done, I try to get in the weight room for a little bit. I don't know if it happens very often, but try to get in there for a little bit. There I get a chance to talk through some things with the offensive guys again as they're lifting weights. I can't stop bugging them, about what we gotta get done, what we can improve upon, and what we did well. And then so after that, I think we're back in at about 1:30 for another staff meeting to recap how practice went and Coach Ken's take on how things went. And then we have our offensive staff meeting after that. We get to clear the film. Then I usually, stay back and we break off, and every coach has their responsibilities and their thoughts on game planning. So they get to go take their time for, I would say, about 3.5 hours. Then we typically get back somewhere around 6:30-ish or 6:30, kind of talk through some new thoughts, some new ideas. What's on the docket for tomorrow? What's the practice plan going to look like? What's the point of emphasis? What things do we need to clean up? Do we need more juice from the office? Do we need to, just everybody has their thoughts, and I like to pick those guys' brains on things. And then usually I go back into my office in the cave and stay there till probably 10 o'clock at night doing some scripting, watching some extra film, making sure I'm giving the right looks to our offense. So, the worst thing you don't want to do as offensive coordinator, as a coach, is get there on Saturdays and our guys say like, man, I didn't get that look. I didn't know what was going on. So my biggest thing is I just want to make sure that we're preparing our players the best that we can, and we give them all the looks. And I get it. Like, you're not going to get every look, but if we can bet 90% going into a game saying like, hey, this is what they've shown, this is what we're hypothesizing that you're going to see, and let's go and roll with it. And in the game, there's going to be new wrinkles on the defense and things that they're going to do. But at the same time too, though, the core of who they are, they're not going to really stray away from it. So even if they do have some different wrinkles, you just got to break it down with the tablets. It's great. You can see it on the sideline. Like, hey, they're just trying to get to this pressure, or they're just trying to get to this coverage, but they're hiding it with this coverage or this type of front. So that's the biggest thing, I think. And that's the way that my day goes. And, I get home somewhere around 10 o'clock, 10:15, somewhere Monday through Wednesdays. And, hopefully my wife's not too mad that I'm home that night. My son is.
So I got to chime in on that too, because I actually texted Sky. So last night I texted him at going on 11 o'clock my time, right? So I'm 3 hours ahead of you. I'm in South Carolina. So when I texted him at 11 o'clock my time, you look, 10, 9, you're about like 9 o'clock, 8 or 9 o'clock, right? He goes, I haven't talked to him yet. He's in the meeting. And I'm thinking, my gosh, he's at meetings at 8 o'clock at night. And I'm like, that is pure dedication to your tool. And Sky did say, yeah, you're definitely one of the most dedicated. He said you're usually one of the ones that is the last ones to leave. So hey, that when it comes to being a coach, I completely understand. I had the privilege actually of coaching football. I played football. I unfortunately had a career-ending injury. I tore my ACL and MCL my senior year in football. I actually was one of the highest tight ends in the state of Georgia at the time on my play. And, it is what it is. It happens, unfortunately. And people don't realize you're always one hit away from ending your career. So I understand the importance of your mind is constantly tinkering. How can I make this better? How can I make that better? That kind of stuff. A good friend of Matt and mine is his name is Vince. He is a coach, and he came on our show and he said, it's funny you guys talk about Brandon. He's hard. He is thorough, but he's very efficient. He said, but what the really funny thing is I'm a run guy, but him, if you have the opportunity to line him up from Albuquerque, New Mexico to Atlanta, Georgia, that's how wide he would spread the field out. And that is very true because I'm a very pass-heavy offensive guy. I got the privilege of understanding that offense more. And then I kind of mentored 1 year under Bob Spire at North Gwinnett. He runs the run and shoot offense. And so I got to experience that more. So I loved that offense. I'm a very, very, very pass-heavy kind of guy. And, when I hear people say that, I'm always trying to fine-tune my tool, it really is true. Coaching is a 24/7, 365-day kind of job. Would you agree on that?
Yes. And if you ask my wife, it's even worse because even the other day I'm sitting there on the Sunday afternoon, and I'm looking and I'm like just phased out. And she's like, "Hello, Earth to Craig. Are you here?" And I'm like, "Huh?" She's like, "Can you be present?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know, I'm trying." But it's the funniest thing. Coach showed a video today in the staff room, in the staff meeting, and it was about this the best sushi chef in Japan. And he was a big minimalist, and it's all about, there's not a large menu, but whatever you do, you immerse yourself in, you dedicate yourself to learning and mastering your craft. And, we always, as coaches, there's a fine line of doing too much, and there's a fine line of just having too much. And I'm a big minimalist in terms of plays. I don't like having a lot. I think whatever you do, you got to do extremely well. And sometimes as a coach, though, you want to add new things in, and maybe you overthink things, and you got to, hey, we got to do this because they're going to do this. And I know they're going to do this, but if our kids can't execute, then what are we doing? And I think that's the biggest thing that I took away in the last 48 hours was that, there are some things we didn't execute in that Fresno game. And the first person I look at it's myself. And maybe we did a little bit too much preparing for that game. And because I had a meeting Saturday morning and I was like, listen, we're going to get this. And there's going to be about 3 opportunities that we're going to have big plays from it. And lo and behold, we had 4 times where we had that look that we knew we were going to have to take advantage of. And we missed 2 passes on them. And the other 2 we didn't even get to. And I'm like, we probably did too much in the week or the last week and a half. And that's my fault. We got to execute that better. So like you said, it's crazy. It's 365. And if it's not plays, it's about execution. And if it's not about execution, it's how's the players doing? How they feeling? Are they injured? Are they good? Are they still,
your mind is constantly going.
And it's not just one thing. It's everything.
Yep.
It's everything. And it's the blessing and the curse of being a coach, right?
That's right. Amen to that. Matt, you had a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, Coach. To piggyback off of what you were saying and how you have a lot of things on the plate. As we all know, the offense is broken up into different groups. You have your quarterbacks, you have your running backs, you have your O-line. Which position group do you feel needs your attention the most?
Mm-hmm. I would say the quarterbacks, because they got to see the game through the lens of you, and you got to see the game through the lens of them. You got to be sympathetic. Like, it's got to be seamless. And so that's, I think, the toughest thing in year one, and finding a guy. And we've been playing 2, and I get it. They're very similar, but they're also very different. And so spending time with those guys. And I've always thought that the times that we weren't best on offense was the times that maybe we didn't spend as much time with the quarterbacks in terms of making sure that they're right, and maybe assuming that they knew things. I think the other group that we spend a lot of time with, that I spend a lot of time with, is the receivers, because with this type of offense, as you guys know, there's so many different options. The receivers are an extension of the quarterbacks, and whatever they see, the receivers and the quarterbacks got to see the same thing. They got to speak the same language. They got to be able to finish each other's sentences because they're finishing each other's plays. When somebody goes ahead, the quarterback makes a read and throws it, the receivers got to see the same read and catch the football and finish it. So there is a lot of that consistency, and also building of where you got to spend time with. But at the same time, too, though, you got to show your offensive linemen and your running backs and the tight ends in this offense a ton of love, because I think sometimes those guys feel neglected with the amount of time that I spend with the receivers and the quarterbacks. So I like to the linemen just started doing this 2 weeks ago, where every time they come out to practice, they come and they freaking pick me up, or they they kind of like carry me away and, and stuff like that. And they're laughing around. And I love that, because it means that we're still connected, and those guys are the guardians for the quarterbacks, and everything starts up front. And so I know I went kind of in a roundabout, but I think you got to spend most times with the quarterback and with the receivers, but you got to make sure that you spend time and love up the offensive linemen and show them that we appreciate them and that we couldn't do it without them,
So this actually is the guy I was saying about Vince, the guy on this comment. Uh-huh. He actually kind of sentiments what you say. I always say QBs, running backs, and wide receivers, because they need to have chemistry together, and that is very true. They're your brothers, and the term brotherhood is very real in football, and people don't realize that just because you play once a week with them doesn't mean you're not around them all the time. When I played, Coach Manus was very keen on making sure you did everything with your teammates together. So we would go, if we weren't doing practice, we go out and have dinner together, or we go, play basketball at the court or something. It was always something we had to do together with the team. And so, to build that camaraderie is very important. And, it absolutely is a very real situation where people don't realize brotherhood is real. So Craig, I'm gonna wrap this up with you on this, because I know you're, like I said, you're a busy guy. So all right, so there's a big game coming up this weekend. Obviously, people they're kind of like, this whole season's gonna be, this whole weekend's a good game kind of thing. I mean, you got Duke, you got Miami facing each other, but the game that I'm really eyeballing a lot is Penn State playing host to Ohio State. Who do you got winning that game? Because that to me, that really goes to see who plays Oregon in the Big Ten championship.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It's funny, because I think the only game that I haven't watched either team, obviously their film or anything, but I did watch the Oregon and Ohio State game. I do know it's at Penn State, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm watching the Pat McAfee show earlier, went lunch and whatever, and they're doing the, and they're doing all that stuff. I tell you what, man, home field advantage is a real deal. I know that over the years, I think Penn State has played Ohio State pretty tough, and Coach Franklin has done a wonderful job there. I think it's going to be a tough one to go into Penn State and play and win, because Ohio State went to Oregon, and that's a tough place to play. So, but gosh, I mean, Ohio State is loaded. See, you're talking about that. My mind is already still on Oregon State that we play next, but Ohio State, Penn State. I got to go with the home team. I'm thinking Penn State.
I like that pick. All right, Craig. So I got one word of advice, then Matt's going to finish up with you. Can you please go beat the heck out of Boise? Look, the saying that people in Hawaii have for Boise State. You change 2 letters around.
Yes.
For Boise State. So would you guys please stop Genty? Look, I think he's going to win the Heisman, but would you guys just go ahead and knock them out of the opportunity?
We're going to petition to play with 12 on defense to even it out. And we're also going to petition to play with 12 on offense, because they're really, really good on defense too.
Hey, I'm down with that one too. Hey, Craig, I absolutely have had a blast having you on, and Matt, what is your final thoughts you want to give with Coach Stutzman?
Yeah, actually, it's piggybacking off of the Boise State game, man. What kind of without giving away a game plan or giving away too much, what can you say to your team? Mainly, I know you're an offensive coach, but what can you say, or what advice do you have for the defense? To a defense who are actually facing the running back Genty, what advice do you have for your defense?
Gosh, I wouldn't say for my defense because I don't want to create any controversy in here. I would say for any defense.
I say without getting in trouble.
Stop that guy.
Yes.
If you got to put all 11 in the box, just stop him. But I don't want to jinx it too, because then we go ahead and stop him, and the quarterback goes and throws for 400. I don't know. I think, gosh, that guy's super talented. He's special. I watched.
He looks like Barry. He reminds me of Barry Sanders, to be honest.
Yeah. He goes. I watched the Washington State Boise game, and there's how many times that Washington State had him just literally tackled in the backfield, and my man breaks it for like 60. It's supernatural. The guy that he reminds me of that I played against when we were in college, he reminds me of LaDainian Tomlinson. Like I was like,
yes,
LT. I mean, he's got burst, he's got toughness, he's got everything you could possibly want in a running back, and my man is unstoppable. So I try to play with 12, sneak a 12th guy in the field,
or 13,
or 13.
Lucky number 13. All right, so real quick, who's your 3 Heisman finalists?
I don't even know who they are right now, but I would say, just because in the league and on our side, I would say probably Genty's one of them. I mean, the guy's special. I have to go with my man Dylan Gabriel. He's a local guy, right? He's from Hawaii. Yep. He's doing some great things. And I think the other guy right now that's playing out of his mind is Cam Ward, right?
Yeah, Cam Ward. Yeah, he's projected to be the second overall quarterback taken. So, and everybody knows who number 1 will be is Deion's son, Shedeur.
Yeah.
So.
I was going to say, if Travis Hunter didn't get hurt, that guy's also special. I mean, there's a lot of uber talented young men that's playing in college football right now. And so, if I could sneak one guy in, I'd sneak our guy, Nick Nash. I mean, he's leading the country in receiving. I'd sneak him in somehow, just like how we can try to sneak in 12 guys on defense and 12 guys in offense.
Hey, you never know. I mean, you did play in the CFL, right?
Yeah.
So, hey, maybe the NFL adopts that, or heck, even college adopts that 12-man, and you're all running around at the same time to go. So who knows? But hey, Craig, I have had an absolute blast having you on. I definitely want to have you guys on again, when it comes bowl season. But in the meantime, look, you guys have 4 tough games. Let's shoot for 4-0 on those. Sound good?
I love it. Absolutely. And it was a blast, Brandon and Matt, to be on the show. Anytime, man, hit me up. Let me know. This has been a blast. I had a ton of fun.
Hey, make sure to let Sky know. I'm going to text him, and so I can get his shirt sent to him for coming on the show. Sound good?
Awesome. Sounds good, brothers. Appreciate you.
All right, Craig. Take it easy, buddy. Man, how cool was that to have him on, Matt?
Oh, that was cool, man. That was cool. A lot of knowledge, man. You can tell he knows his stuff, and also you can tell he's very focused on his team. I think they'll do well. I think they'll get a bowl game this year.
Well, I think that the way he's perceiving it, boys, they better be careful, because look, that kind of offense. You've seen that kind of offensive numbers. They can put a pretty penny up at any time. So we'll see. Yeah. All right, Matt. We have to get to talk about this. We have to, Matt.
What's that, man? What's that?
I want you to be honest. Did you really see and believe that Kirk Cousins was going to get 16 yards rushing against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Well, I think they had in those parlays, whatever, they had Kirk Cousins over and under rushing like 6 or 7 yards or something like that. And I said, you know what, he will rush more than that. And that put a little bit of change in my pocket. So I believed. But
man, that was like a great game. Was that not like one of the best performances you've seen him do all season?
Especially that drive, that drive. When he ran on, it was 4th down. He ran on, right? Was it 4th down?
Yes. He ran on. It was 3rd and long, and he ran all the way. And he was down like 4th and like a yard and a half, and then he ends up getting the tush push, as they call it, happens. And
yeah, man. Man. particular final drive, man, I know a lot of people wrote off Tampa Bay because the receivers went down, but Baker does a lot more with less.
Mm-hmm.
He did it in Cleveland. He did it when he played for Carolina. He did it when he played with the Rams.
LA.
Yeah, with the Rams. So he does a lot more with less. So I knew, I kind of figured that he would have him in the game, but with the especially with the Falcons' inability to sack the quarterback, but they pulled it out, got the victory, played good defense down the stretch, especially on that last drive when Baker tried to win the game, and because Baker was for a minute they were marching for a minute, then it got to about the 30 on the Falcons side, and Falcons defense held up. So yeah, man, good game for both teams. Falcons just outplayed them, and there you go.
That's right. Hey, we can smell the excitement developing in the state of Georgia and the city of Atlanta. Look, Atlanta fans, they're critical about everything. I mean, he blows it up for 509 yards against the Buccaneers, and it's we're going we're gonna win 14 games. Then they lose to Seattle. He had an off game in Seattle, and it's all right, Penix time. Trade Cousins, get rid of him, that kind of stuff. And all I gotta say to you people who sat there and said, bench Cousins, he's done, he's a wash up. I hope your crow tasted really good, because that's what you're gonna eat. Kirk Cousins, he has over 2,100 yards passing already. He's on pace to eclipse the 4, heck, even close to the 5,000 yard mark. So yeah, the last one did it was I believe Matt Ryan, and you guys were all hypocritical about Matt Ryan all the time.
But let's not downplay it. He played like crap that first game of the season, man.
Oh yeah, but also coming off of an injury.
Exactly, which I agree. And then Roy's got to shake the rust off. But as the games go on, he's been getting more comfortable. Like you said, he pushed it, man. He quarterback sneaked it. So that shows his comfortability is growing in the pocket. So I think
this just in, folks.
Yeah,
Kirk Cousins just bought a $2.5 million home in Cumming, Georgia. Yeah. So Matt, not too far from you.
Buford.
Yeah, not too far from you. All right, Matt. So let's look at some of the college football games. Are you down for that?
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right. Before we go there, I also want to say, guys, if you're a Yankees fan, I'm really not sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm laughing. Ain't no way y'all gonna do what Boston did to you guys to win and end their curse, right? I mean, look, I understand it is the Yankees, but here's the weirdest thing. I didn't even know this, Matt, until they said it last night. The first World Series game in 15 years in the state of New York. Isn't that crazy?
That is outrageous when you think about it, man. That is kind of crazy. You think about the good teams the Yankees have had, man, in the last 15 years, man. You would think that they would at least, man, have been in the World Series, but oof.
And obviously tonight, I believe tonight is the clinching, could be the clincher for the Dodgers, and who knows? We shall see. And look, I don't care for either team. My team is the Atlanta Braves. Has always been the Braves.
The brooms out.
But if anything, I'm cheering on Freddie. Freddie deserves it. He's a heck of a player. He's done great things. Look, Atlanta misses him. We absolutely miss him. And who knows? Maybe our paths will cross again one day as he wraps up his career playing and becoming a coach. He could be maybe a coach for the Atlanta Braves. Who knows? We shall see.
Heck of a series.
Yeah, I mean, it's been him. It's been the Freddie Freeman show. Obviously, guys. I don't know if you saw this.
Oh my God, he homered again. I just got
holding.
He homered again.
So that's a record then, right there, folks.
Yeah, that's the record. Freddie Freeman, 4 straight games, he homered again. Wow,
that's crazy. Golly. Wow. Well, I'm sitting here watching New Mexico State and Florida International. Matt, let's dive right into it. You got 2 teams. I was telling you this is a high-powered game between 2 teams with a combined win total of 4. And right now, folks, it is 7-6. Get ready to go into halftime. Matt, who do you got? Do you think New Mexico State wins their 3rd, or does International win their 3rd?
I think FIU is going to hold on and win this one.
All right, let's talk about University of Louisiana Raging Cajuns. They traveled down to Texas State, and they're playing in San Marcos, Texas. I didn't look at the score yet, but what do you think?
Well, it was Louisiana. Louisiana's what, 5-1, 6-1, or something like that.
I believe they're 5-1.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's just let me pull it up, and I can tell you exactly what their record is. Their record is 6-1.
Better than Texas.
They're
State.
actually, they're better than Texas State, but it's a 7-6 game right now as well.
Okay. Well, I think Louisiana's going to hold off, and the Raging Cajuns will come out with the victory.
Okay. All right. Now, look, guys, we have a really good guest that's coming on next week. Cannot wait to have him on. He is with Sam Houston State University. Look, they're having a phenomenal season. Sam Houston State is 6-2. They're playing host tonight to Louisiana Tech. Obviously, there's no score yet, but what do you think? Sam Houston goes 7 wins tonight, or does La Tech get their 4th?
No, I think Sam Houston holds off and win, man. They'll show their dominance. I think they'll probably end up winning the conference as well. But I think they'll go hold off and beat Louisiana Tech today.
All right, so now we go on to Wednesday's game. Our good friend Dan Scott, he called this gentleman's name for a good couple of years, actually. Tyler Huff. Jacksonville State is traveling to Lynchburg, Virginia. They're playing at Liberty. Look, remember, guys, Liberty is coming off of a loss to literally the worst team in all of college football at the time. They were ranked 134 out of 134. Kennesaw State beat them 27-24. What do you think? Do you think, Jacksonville State pulls the upset against Liberty, or does Liberty win?
I think Liberty was embarrassed last week by losing to Kennesaw State, so I think they come out with a vengeance. I think they destroyed Jacksonville State.
Really? Well, I think Jacksonville State actually pulls the upset. I'm thinking they're going to win by like 24-20, actually 24-21 kind of game. So, and then we come to, the lonely Kennesaw State Owl. We just mentioned them. They're traveling to Bowling Green, Kentucky. They're taking on the Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky. Does Kennesaw State have enough to get that second victory, or is it just a fluke to get that one?
I don't know, man. I think they got to taste the victory. They saw what the type of effort was required to pull off the win. I think they maintain that effort. I think they pull off the upset again against Western Kentucky.
I like it. All right, folks. And then the last game that we're going to talk about, because we're going to save you guys for the wonderful Friday night games, is, look, our good friend Maddie, who covers Tulane University. They're traveling up to Charlotte, North Carolina, and they're playing at Charlotte. Who do you think wins this one, Tulane or Charlotte?
I think Tulane's having a great season. What are they, like 5-2, something like that?
6-2.
6-2. Tulane's having a really good season, man. I think they hold off and they claim the victory today.
I like where you're going on that one. Look, guys, sports. We're at the best time of the year. So, Matt, I want to ask you this question, and I want you to tell me if you agree with this decision that took place. I don't know if you saw it. Did you see Anthony Richardson, what he did?
Yeah, he was.
He checked out. He checked out of a game.
He scrambled, but do we know if it was because of injury or something? What was it because?
He was tired.
I heard they benched him though, and Flacco's going to play, right?
Yep. Joe Flacco, folks.
Why are they benching him because he has to come out the game?
I'm thinking that's the answer because it's pretty disappointing that you did that.
Do that, but then again, he is a running quarterback. He ran, and I guess he got tackled. Maybe he hurt something, and he needed to come up for a little bit. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure the Indianapolis Colts. What's their record?
Not good. I think they're like 2 wins, maybe 3. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look it up to see because let's see here.
It can't be finished with him already, right? It's only his second season.
Well, that term sophomore slump is real. They're 4-4.
So they're not out of it.
They play host to the Vikings actually this weekend.
Ooh.
They're Sunday. It's the Sunday night game actually. So that's gonna be a good game.
Yeah, especially with Flacco at the helm. They're probably 4-4 because of Flacco, to be honest, because he played a few games. I don't know, man. I think maybe there's some kind of injury that they know about that we don't know yet. And I don't see the Colts giving up on Anthony Richardson so easily and so fast. He has so much talent.
I hope not.
I think he checked out because he was hurt, man. I'm pretty sure he was hurt. It wouldn't. That doesn't make sense because at that time it was a crucial third down. So he went. I'm pretty sure no football player would check themselves out the game unless they are hurt. I hope he didn't give up on his team. I hope that wasn't the case.
I hope so too. Look, guys, got some really interesting takes to talk about. Look, Stephon Diggs is out for the year, torn ACL. Matt, is he on your fantasy team, or who's on who do you know of that has Diggs on their fantasy team?
I have him in one of my major money leagues, man. Total. Been a total disappointment for me this season. Yeah, the first game of the season, he had like 2 touchdowns, really good. After that, it's kind of been, kind of a bye week feeling kind of play guy right now as far as fantasy goes. But it's unfortunate.
We're not going to talk about the Sportz Nutz fantasy football league because I'm really doing bad.
Yeah, man. But hey, at least you didn't draft McCaffrey. You wouldn't even have a win if you drafted McCaffrey. So
that's true.
So we put it like that. But yeah, man. I mean, I hate it for him. I hate it for Diggs. I hate it for the Texans. I think this is a contract year for him as well. So that's going to really suck. Him trying to get a new contract, and them having.
And also his age plays a role in it too.
Yeah, he's on the wrong side of 30. I mean, young at heart, but by football standards, he's an old man, long into tooth. So we'll see what happens, man. But hopefully, Nico Collins and Tank Dell will step up. Their tight end. Hopefully, he steps up as well. Plus, Joe Mixon seems to be Joe Mixon of old, the way he's running the ball. So, we'll see, man. If they make things easy for CJ Stroud, I think they'll still be in the thick of it when it comes to the division title.
Absolutely. Look, your guy here, I got to bring this up, Matt. I sent you the story, but I want your thoughts on this one. Your boy, the 17-year-old phenom, Mr. Cooper Flagg, has inked multi-million-dollar deal with a sponsorship with Gatorade.
It's crazy.
Look, guys, everybody knows Cooper Flagg is going to go to the NBA after this year. It's already set in stone.
Absolutely.
Matt, what are your thoughts on the fact that he just inked this multi-million-dollar deal with Gatorade?
I'm pretty sure you're going to see a couple multi-million-dollar deals. He still has going to get that brand deal with
that shoe deal.
Yeah, yep, he's going to get that shoe deal. So you're going to have that, and you're going to have other endorsements that he gets to play with. So we'll see what happens. But congratulations to him, man. I think he's going to prove that he deserves it. Hell, a heck of a player. Does everything out there on the court, man. Offense, defense, you name it, he does all of it. I think he's going to have a marvelous season. And of course, he'll be the first pick in the draft would be between him and Ace Bailey from Rutgers, but it'll more than likely be him.
It'll be more like Cooper Flagg. I really feel it's going to be him too. And we'll see where he goes. All right, and then lastly, folks, we're not going to keep too much longer because we have things we got to do. All right, Matt, I sent you a story. I don't know if I sent you. I told you that the Connecticut Sun have fired their head coach. Folks, this is an anomaly that's happened in WNBA. There are 7 teams without a head coach. Matt, is that just because there's a potential for a lockout happening, or what? Because I mean, the Connecticut Sun, they got to the WNBA finals and they lost. I mean, the WNBA semifinals and they lost. I mean, they had a really good record. What do you think is going on right now?
I don't know, man. I think they have a plan in place, and I think they're trying to, find the perfect coach for their team. I think that's kind of where they're at right now. They just want to find a perfect coach to lead the particular group of players that they have at the moment.
Absolutely. We still have more to come, obviously. All right, guys. Hey, we're coming to the end of our show. Want to quickly let you know, Matt, he just told us last episode he's playing old man basketball. Guys, I'm coaching basketball. Yes, I am back in the game of coaching. I'm going to be coaching 12 and under sports. So looking forward to having this. I'm excited to be a coach again. Look, I'm very efficient with my coaching. There's a reason why I have a substantial record. Coach Vince, he will tell you there's a reason about it too. I I know what I'm doing kind of thing. I'm hard, I'm fast, but I'm efficient. I was 62-4 as a coach. I know what I'm doing. So cheer on the Powdersville Patriots. Look, guys, as you can see, we have a lot of good guests coming up on the show. And we're going to have more. Look, season 2 is rapidly coming to an end. We only have about 18 episodes left, and then season 3 will start. The way that we'll go is we will take all the way up till episode 70, and then we will take a week off, and then we will come back. Maybe even we might even take a week and a half. I don't know yet. We're still debating that, but we're going to come back with season 3. Look, we are growing rapidly, so we are looking for a third member to join the Sportz Nutz for season 3. So we're looking for someone to join us. If you are committed to sports, if you can commit 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Fridays at 7:30 with us, give us a message. Matt and I would love to talk with you, just to kind of get you to see what you're thinking about the line of sports. Obviously we're excited about any opportunities that grow. We're going to have it there. All right, so let's quickly go down the lineup for what is to come. Friday, look, it is my daughter's birthday, but we will have an episode. We are going to be talking with Mr. Jason Barfield of Sam Houston State. I actually cannot wait to talk to them. Look, Sam Houston State, they've really turned it on. They're doing really good, so we're looking forward to that opportunity. We're still looking for a potential guest. We may have somebody for the St. Louis Cardinals to talk with us on the 5th. I'm trying to finalize that now. So we'll be prepared for that one. Then our good friend, Mr. Shane Anderson of the Alabama Beavers, is coming on the 8th. So we're right there. Look, we're also close to getting something finalized with Clay Hendricks of Furman, as well as Bob Ritchie from Furman to come on. Looking for that. Matt himself, he's working on a few. Matt, who are you working on that you can share with our audience as to who you're potentially trying to work with getting on our show?
I don't want to share too much. I like it to be a surprise. But I am working on trying to get some, some, I won't say old players, but definitely retired, professional, NBA players or some high profile college players that you will definitely recognize. That's what we're kind of working on right now. So hopefully, everything works out and we'll get them and we can give you guys a good show.
Actually, and look, guys, we're going to also have the Sportz Nutz store will be up and running soon, so we're going to have that going. Matt and I are really close on working with deals to get ball caps, beanies, shirts. We're still working. We're close to getting there, so it's coming. Don't worry. In the meantime, though, as you guys can see, I do have a Sportz Nutz polo. Matt is getting one of these too. Don't worry, he's going to look handsome. Matt, I was thinking mid-November for our live on location at Tequila's. What do you think?
Oh, that works, man. It's been a while since I've been there, man. So we haven't been there this season yet.
Yep.
So we definitely need to go over there and check it out.
Absolutely. So, guys, stay tuned for that. We will be. We will finalize the date. We'll get it going. So you guys come out there. Look, we're gonna have merchandise again. We're still doing our prize pack, and I definitely want you guys to know the $30 gas gift card. The drawing is coming to an end soon. So I've changed it a little bit here. I'm going to go ahead and say it needs to be 3 people. You need 3 who know you, that you recommended to subscribe, that have subscribed to our YouTube channel. We're at 130. Let's get to 145 by, what do you think, Matt? December 15th?
Let's say Christmas.
All right, by Christmas, you get us to 145. If we get above, great. But all you need to do to get that entry in for a $30 gas gift card is just get 3 people to subscribe, and you're entered. And every person that subscribes that you get, that's an entry for you as well. So you have an opportunity. But you have to let us know, hey, I got these people, because you get a number. The number is given to you. We spin the wheel, and that's how we choose who wins the gas card. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for letting us bend your ear tonight for 1 hour and 8 minutes. It's been a lot of fun. Go, if you get a chance, go cheer on San Jose State. Look, I understand not many people watch small league football, but it's really a lot of fun. They have a lot more heart in college than traditional pros do. So check them out. You know, you're going to get a lot of opportunities to watch them. Craig Sussman, he's a great offensive-minded coach. As you guys heard, he runs the run and shoot. So check him out. So with that being said, for our good friend, actually, Matt, I quickly ask you, and you know, I'm excited to ask you this question. And you're probably going to think I'm corny when I ask this, but what do Falcons do, sir?
Yes, very corny. Well, they rise up.
That's right. We rise up. Look, I can see that because the Birds won, baby. They played against the Cowgirls next week.
Oh, I can't wait. This is going to be.
That's going to be a good game.
A lot of family that are Cowboy fans and Giants fans. This is going to be a good one.
Absolutely. So, guys, with that being said, for our good friend Craig Stutzman, the offensive coordinator for San Jose State University, for this man right here, Mr. Matt Thomas, I'm Brandon Keeler saying peace up, A-Town down. Why? Because we're natural AT aliens together. Matt, what are you telling them not to get done again?
Don't get flagged, guys. Let's not get in trouble. Follow the rules. Don't drink and drive. Don't do it. All those things. You know, just don't get flagged.
Don't get flagged. Don't do something stupid. Look, we're not going to bail you out. Don't say we told you so when you do something stupid. So don't get flagged. But most importantly, go enjoy spending time with your family. Look, it is Halloween on Thursday. Yes. Trick-or-treating is going to commence in the Keeler household. Cannot wait for that. And then baby girl Holden's birthday is on Friday, but we will have an episode on Friday. Guys, we thank you so much, and we look forward to talking with you again on our next episode this Friday. Until then, take care. Good night, and get out of here. Go home. Get some rest. Bye. Well, he just did. He just scored 8 points. That's the thing. He had a career